Alright guys, so I know that when I first started this channel and I was doing a lot of videos all at the same time and all that, that I did already cover motivation to a certain extent, and it was actually a rather long video to talk about that. But I kind of wanted to revisit that because, as I get older, as I've done a lot more therapy, and I think I've spoken about that I'm chronically depressed and have anxieties and all that shit, ADHD. And, it's always been a major concern for me as a personal trainer, is how do you reach people when they struggle with getting themselves into the gym every day. And even on this channel, when you guys are watching these videos and whether or not you guys are actually drilling the things I'm showing you or just watching them jerking off and moving on or whatever it is that you guys do with the content that I put on this channel, you know, actually getting yourselves to go out there and work out or drill or do these things that will make you a better wrestler. The question is, do I just sit here and tell you, get off your lazy fucking asses and get out there to the gym, which seems to be like the prevailing thing that I hear from a lot of people is just do it. I know that's a Nike slogan and all that, but that's kind of a lot of the attitude and part of that comes out of the understanding and realization that motivation in a lot of ways doesn't really exist. If you're waiting for yourself to suddenly feel motivated to go out there and just do the work, it's never going to come. What happens is that you arrive at the gym or wherever you're going and you get moving, you get through the warm-up, and now suddenly, you're motivated to continue through. Well, some of us, that's not always the case either, right? So, yes, getting yourself there is going to be one of the first most difficult things that you are going to run into. We get into these grooves, we get home from work, we sometimes maybe start off our day by trying to go to the gym then, or maybe we've been on YouTube for way too long, or whatever it is, we struggle with getting ourselves from where we're at to the gym. And so, one of the first things I can tell you is that if you can, say, okay, well, I'm going to go to the gym before work, or I'm going to go to the gym right after the work, and you treat it as a job, and you never let yourself set foot in your house. That can be one of those things that actually gets you to be regular, is just saying, before I go home from work, I'm going to go to the gym. Now, one of the things that has been a major problem for me is that, I've been home a lot of the time lately, especially with the torn meniscus and all that, and so I don't eat enough. And so when I go to the gym, I get sweaty, my skin feels drier, I don't have the energy to actually perform in the gym, and so I had to make a major change there. And the question is always, well, what is going to be, and again, part of this is because I'm not eating properly, and that has to do with depression and all that, and ADHD and all that. So, how do I mitigate those problems so that I can actually get to the gym and actually work out? And so what I've done is that every couple days I make a pot of white rice. White rice, some people are going to sit there and they're going to scoff and say, well, that's not the most nutritious thing in the world for you. Well, what white rice is, and this is something, again, goes into nutrition a little bit, which is not the point of this video, but what white rice is it's a relatively easy digestible, not bloating carbohydrate, and carbohydrate is going to be the main thing that you need to get through your workout. So I identified that eating was going to be a major problem, and having the energy of food in my system was going to be a major problem for me working out. Now, you can't take this, to the extreme and start eating cake or ice cream or candy bars or things like that before you go into the gym to make sure that you have enough carbohydrate, because the thing is that with white rice, it still needs to be broken down. It's not going to break down nearly as fast as as candy would. But, you know, brown rice is going to take too long, and it's going to make you feel too weighty when you're in the gym, and that can lead to nausea. It can lead to other problems that you're going to have to deal with. So, what's the solution? Well, actually, white rice is a pretty good middle ground. Now, I'm not going overboard. You know, it is probably, if I were to measure it out, it's probably about 1¼ cups of cooked white rice. It's probably about the quantity that I'm eating, so it's not a whole lot. So that's one thing. Making sure that you're hydrated is also another thing. Like I said, sometimes I get to the gym and I just feel, oh. And when we see that we have these negative responses in our body to exercise, another one that I get is that I have dry skin. So when I sweat, I can feel those pores opening up and it itches like crazy. So addressing the dry skin, well, you know, lotions and creams, they can keep heat in. And so, you know, that trapping of heat can make me feel too hot and too laborious when I'm in the gym. So, you know, if you use the aloe vera after sun gel, that's usually green, sometimes it's blue, sometimes if you have like the non-colored version, it will be white or clear. That can potentially be a pretty good option for hydrating your skin, making sure that you don't associate working out with itchiness. We've addressed kind of nausea or feeling underfed or feeling dehydrated. So we need to make sure that our body is in fighting condition before we even go to the gym to work out. Now, going back into motivation very specifically, because that's really what I wanted to go into here, is understanding that, you know, for a lot of people, saying just do it isn't going to cut it, right? You can bully people. You know, my husband was recently, you know, getting a little disappointed with me because I hadn't gone for my swim, which is one of the few cardios that I can do that my knee can tolerate, and it doesn't tolerate it that well. But, you know, he was talking about, you know, he was disappointed with my accountability. Now, I did actually end up going swimming that day, and I had been planning on it. What happened was that the white rice that I had prepared was a little bit too old, and I started eating. I was like, okay, that's gross, so I had to make a new pot of white rice. So that delayed when I was going to go by a couple hours, but I did go. So here's part of why I did go, okay? So what you do is you start at the start of whatever day of the week is the start of your exercise week, okay? And you sit with another person, whoever it is, just somebody that's a friend or a coach or a therapist or anybody. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we are vocalizing this out and writing it down on a piece of paper. This week, I'm going to go swimming twice a week. Right? I'm going to lift once. Now, that might not seem like a lot to a lot of you because, you know, I've talked on this channel before that really if you want to see muscle gains, you want to see fat loss, you really need to be in that threshold between 3 and 5 days. And, you know, the CDC and health authorities want us to get a certain amount of, you know, time with our heart rates elevated from doing cardiovascular exercise in order to ward off disease. But when we are fighting depression or we're trying to get ourselves motivated to go out, if we are trying to take up this ginormous goal, I have to be there 5 days a week without fail. If you're struggling with motivation, you're not going to get there. So what you need to do is you need to say to somebody, okay, this week I am going to swim twice this week. Now for me, and that is actually where I'm at right now because I'm really struggling here. And I have to give myself permission to not be perfect right now. And if you are struggling, you need to do the same. You need to say anything that I'm doing is better than nothing. Now, what is it that I can achieve this week? So I have told my therapist and I told my husband I'm going to go to a cafe and I'm going to edit some of my short stories once this week. That was one of my goals for this week. And I'm going to go swimming twice. It's not much. And I've kind of said, okay, I've set alarms in my phone that tell me to pound white rice at 2:20 in the afternoon, with a goal of being in the pool by about 3:20, 3:30 in the afternoon. So I've got the alarm on my phone that is telling me to do the preparation I need to do in order to make sure that I am successful once I get there. And I've said, okay, Tuesday was going to be an easy day for me to get to the pool and swim. Now, it aggravated my knee. It's very swollen right now. It's not happy with me. So I'm not going to go swimming again today. And then I work tomorrow. So Friday's probably going to be my second day for going to the pool, and I'm going to do that without fail. My goal was easy. It was small. It was doable. Okay? And as my body can tolerate it, as I'm feeling like, okay, I'm feeling really good about what I did this week, next week, maybe I'm going to say, I'm going to go swimming 3 times this week. And I can work my way back up to 5 times a week, but you have to give yourself a goal that you know that you're going to feel good about having done it. And getting into the cycle of saying, I've completed something, and now I'm going to do a little bit more, and then I'm going to add a little bit more, and then I'm going to add a little bit more, as long as you are still having fun with it. And another thing that I really, really wanted to touch on here actually has to do with going to the gym and exercising. Now, being a personal trainer in my home, I am incredibly well stocked to do almost anything here. In fact, I recently purchased a stationary bike because I thought it would be good for my knee, and would allow me to get my cardio in, because that's what the internet said, and that's what my training has said. But my training wasn't specifically for a torn meniscus, right? I'm not a doctor or a physical therapist, and so I started going into it, and it really pissed off my knee. So I have to acknowledge this is where I'm at, but getting back to the point I was going for, like I could probably try kettlebell swings, I can try battle ropes or things like that. But when I'm at home, my computer's here, and when my computer's here, I might be on Grindr, I might be on Meat Fighters, I might be on YouTube, and it's a distraction. And guess what? Those things are also available on my phone. So when I go to the gym, I am taking myself out of my own environment, and I'm going into the separate environment. When I'm at home, I can say, I'll get to it at some point in time today, and then I blink and the day is completely gone, and I have not gotten my workout in. So by saying, okay, I'm pounding my carbohydrates at 2:20 in the afternoon, 2:30ish, and then I'm going to go to the gym at 3:30. Okay? By setting myself up to be successful, and then I go to the gym, I have taken myself out of my personal space where I have all those distractions, and now I am going to the gym and I mean business. And how do I know that I mean business? Well, guess what? My cell phone is going into my locker. I'm not taking that out on the floor with me. Yeah, I can't post on TikTok, not that I'm on TikTok, or Twitter. I can't take all these selfies. I can't, entertain myself during my rest periods. If I need to, I've got like a little interval timer that I can bring with me. If I need to time my planks, or I need to time my rest periods or anything like that, I can use this stupid little device that costs way too much and doesn't work very well off of Amazon. I can take that with me, and it can serve the same purpose as my phone does, as far as keeping me going in my workout. But if my phone is there, a 4-minute rest break between heavy chest press, sitting on the bench tweedling away, can turn into 10, 12, 15 minutes, and then you got the bodybuilder coming up behind you going, dude, are you ever going to finish on this bench? But that is a major mistake that I'm seeing a lot of people do in the gym these days, is that people are coming into the gym with their cell phones, and they're sitting there on their phone, and they're spending more time on their phone than they are working out, and it's not even to the practical rest period time. So leave your phone in the locker. Lock it away. Don't bring it with you out on the floor. The other thing, and I think I've mentioned this before, this is where I've been the most successful in the past, has been to go to the gym with a workout buddy who is expecting you to be there. If you're not consistent, pair up with somebody who is going to nag you, who is going to say, hey buddy, I'm picking you up in 5 minutes, here we go. And then you can't really say no. And not only are they helping you, they're going to kind of feel guilty if they don't show up. So it's actually going to help them achieve their goals as well. So, in kind of summary here, you need to get rid of all of your distractions. You need to at least show up. You know, everybody's going to get to the gym. Everybody's going to have a bad day. You know, you might not get through your program for the day, which, by the way, I always go to the gym with a notebook. For right now, Jet has been bugging me forever and ever and ever to write him a program. I have that program written out and dated, and he fills in the weights that he uses, and he's supposed to be within a certain rep range, so if he hasn't used enough weight, he needs to make adjustments. And so it's going till the end of the year, right? It's written out, it's planned. Don't go to the gym and be like, well, I'm just going to maybe I'll do a little bit of leg press over here, which I don't approve of leg press. Too many people lock out their knees and invert. Woohoo! And so, okay, today is going to be my push day. So I'm going to be doing my overhead presses. I'm going to be doing my front raises, lat raises. I'm going to be doing chest press, incline press, and decline press. You know, I might be doing tricep extensions because that's a synergistic muscle for that. And that's going to be my workout. Maybe I'll throw in my core on my push day. Who knows? The next day I come in, I know my plan. I'm going to be doing a pull day. It's going to be lat pull down. It's going to be high rows. It's going to be some isometrics that work on the back, some external rotation exercises, maybe some posterior chain, core strengthening exercises, maybe some rotation, things like that. And then the next day I come in, it's going to be leg day. And I know that I'm going to, which compartments I'm going to be working, how I want to get my muscles going. I have a very thorough plan before I go in. So, you know, find your plan, write it out before you go in. So that's kind of my rant here on motivation for right now, guys. Please go ahead and put some comments down below in the comment section talking about what struggles that you have found, that you've had in the gym, and also put down there, like, what are the solutions that have worked for you. So let's be active in kind of supporting each other. I want to kind of move a little bit more in the direction of making sure that people are actually training and finding training buddies and things like that. So maybe that's going to be like a new group that I'll start in Meat Fighters or something like that, or I'll talk with the creators of Meat Fighters and see what they think. But you know, let's get this off the ground. Let's actually have 2024 being the great year for people getting into wrestling, getting into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whatever makes you happy. Let's get in the best shape of our lives. You know, next year I turn 40. My body is telling me that I am old. My heart, my soul says, no, fuck you. And I think that one of the quotes that I really, really like that I will share with you here is with, and I'm going to completely butcher this. Oh God, and I'm forgetting his name right now. It'll come to me. But anyways, the quote goes that when I was young, I would work out to look good. And then when I got older, it was to keep myself young. And then now that I'm in my 80s, it's out of pure defiance. God, I can see his face. I'm so sorry, you guys. He was in Mary Poppins and whatnot. Very, very great actor, very endearing person. And I'm just going to leave you right there with that. Maybe I'll type it in. But you guys have a good night. Let me know what I can do to support you and help you to become the best wrestlers that you can be. So I'm here for you. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.